Good evening and welcome back to the channel. So for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm Vicky. I'm a UK wildlife photographer and I get as far and as wide as I possibly can with my camera, and I like to bring everybody along for the experience and also to come and enjoy the adventures that I go on. Now tonight I've come over to Yorkshire and I'm back to a hide where I've been previously, but I'm not here to photograph the daytime experience. So I'm here at Yorkshire Wildlife Hides. Now if you haven't seen the video, it's called the Woodland Experience at Yorkshire Wildlife Hides, and I was here when we had Storm David, and I was here to photograph all the woodland birds that are being attracted to this lovely woodland area that we have here behind me. But tonight the guys at Yorkshire Wildlife Hides have invited me back because this hide has two purposes. You have the woodland experience and then you have the dark wood experience. Now tonight I am here to experience the dark wood. So if you're interested in seeing tawny owls, badgers, foxes and possibly fox cubs, and maybe, if we're lucky, maybe hedgehogs as well. I know if you follow me, you might be getting sick and tired of seeing hedgehogs because I have 2 or 3 of them that visit my garden every single night, and I love on my social media sharing my experiences and what I see with my hedgehogs in the garden. I just think they're an absolutely wonderful creature and I'm getting to know more and more about them as well. But we're not here just for that. We're here to experience the Yorkshire dark wood experience. So come along and let's go and show you a little bit around the area that we're going to be photographing in tonight. So as we head on round to the front of the hide, you'll probably recognise, if you have seen the video, this is your photographing area for the woodland experience part of Yorkshire Wildlife Hides. And as you can see here, you've got the hide, which have got the flaps closed at the moment. As you can see, you've obviously got the one-way glass as well. But then we're going to stay enclosed tonight because we're not going to be using them. Instead, we're heading off to the other side of the hide. And we are going to be, bear with us, I've got a little bit of snuffles tonight. We're heading to this side of the hide where we have 2 portals, and I have my 400mm on and I have my 70-200, which are set up there at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set my camera up and spin it around, and I'll show you some of the shooting area that we're going to be working with tonight. Okay, welcome to the dark wood side of the hide. So from here you will get to see tawny owls for sure, which comes on here. If you can see at the back, we've got the gate. We've also got, onto this side, you've also got a gate old style stump, which is just here. And then you've got a couple of various branches that come up, which I believe the tawny owl likes to sit on. And then obviously speaking with Dan tonight, he told me that the tawny owl comes in and it sits on the upper branch of the tree here. Now, one of the things that you do set up when you are here is you have 2 lights on, which allow you to photograph the tawny owl when it comes down. You'll get the badger that will come in from either side of this part of the hide, or the shooting area should I say. And then if you're lucky, you'll get to see the fox, and even luckier still, you might even get to see the fox cubs. Now I do believe they have been coming in, but unfortunately I couldn't get over here any earlier than today to see them. So I'm hoping that they may come in. They'll be a little bit bigger obviously, but it'd be still nice to see them if the parents bring them in. So one of the things that you can experience while you're here at the dark wood is you can work with the continuous lights, which are set up here left and right, which I will turn on probably the next 5 minutes or so, because then I want to go and get myself in the hide. But I'll see if I can show you. Let's see if I can spin it around if the camera follows me. So here you've got your continuous lights, which Dan or Mike, whoever's looking after you on the day, will set these up with you, explain how to use them. But you can also add an added bonus as well to your experience of here at the dark wood, and that is flashes. So set up here, I'm going with the full creative side with the flashes tonight. So I've got a flash set up here on the left hand side as you look out the hide, and then again as I come to here on this side, I've got another one just here behind the tree. You might not be able to see it on the camera at the moment, and again we have another continuous light that you put on here. Now, to make it even more creative, we also have a second flash. Now, as you can see, I've just been lit up because I've got the guys watching this area obviously constantly for the movement going on, so that's why the lights have come on. But up here in a tree branch, you have a third flash which you can use, and that's on a completely different channel setup from the two that are here at the front, and you can get some fantastic creative shots of the tawny owl coming here onto this nice lovely bark that you've got going on here, which I like. Again, like I say to you, you've got the old gate entrance here for it to come in from, and then obviously you've got plenty of area here on top of this old crisscross gate, which I think makes an absolutely fantastic feature for it coming in. Now, speaking with Dan tonight, he said that obviously sometimes the badger comes in from this corner, or sometimes it comes in from this corner, and it's the same with the fox. It'll come through from this back area. So literally it is just going to be a case of getting in the hide now. Well, actually I need to make sure I turn these lights on before I get in the hide, but get in the hide, get my camera set up, make sure everything's working fine, which to be honest I've already checked all that because, you know, we wanted to make sure it went before the guys left, and then it's just a case of keeping quiet, minimal noise, and experience the woodland and the dark wood experience. So come along and let's go and see what we can capture tonight, and fingers crossed we get to see everything. But again, it's nature, anything could happen. So one of the things that we need to make sure that we do once we come into the hide and we've turned the lights on is to make sure you've got everything that you need to hand, because you don't really want to be moving around too much to make too much noise and obviously disturb any of the wildlife that might come in. So the first things first is my cameras are set up, I've got the triggers on, I have my batteries here to hand, which I'm going to leave here so I know where they are. And another thing is it's going to be dark. So always come with a torch. So my torch now will live here at the side of my batteries. And again, because I'm here for the night, I have my my snacks and my food, and the priority is obviously some water. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got all my little bits out, and then I'm not worrying too much, you know, about making too much noise, crunching stuff, because once the activity starts, you want to be able to enjoy it and capture as much of the tawny, the badger and the fox, whatever comes in. You want them to be captured on your video, or you want to have captured as many images as you possibly can. So let's have a look now. Let's get everything out into position so I know where everything is, and let's get settled down and see what comes in. Okay, so we're all set up in the hide now. I have on my left hand side I have my R5 with my 70-200 on it. Now one of the things that I have gone here is I've got a trigger just on the top here, which again we're working on two different channels when we're using the flashlights and the creative lighting. But other than that, you've got your settings set up for just generally taking pictures with the two continuous lights which are on. And again, going over to my right hand side, I have my 400mm on. Again, we have the creative top here on the top of the camera, which you might be able to see. There you go, might be able to see there. And the settings which I've gone for tonight is, I'm just going to start off with just using the continuous light on its own, just so that I can watch for the tawny owl coming in, watch for the badgers coming in, just generally watching how they work, whether they react, everything like that. Sometimes it's nice just to sit back and take it all in first, and just to get some natural kind of light pictures as well. Now, speaking with Dan tonight, he said normally the tawny owl was the first one to come in, so that's what we're going to try and keep an eye out for, and if it comes in, we're going to get some natural sort of pictures. So what I've done is I managed to get myself down to ISO 2.8, which is obviously the lowest that my lens will go. At the moment I've got 160th of a second speed wise, but that can change just depending on what it is I'm trying to capture. And then my ISO at the moment, I've got it set at 4000. It seems to be just a nice soft kind of colours to it, but again, until the tawny owl comes in, I might need to up it and I might need to lower it. It all depends. Now, I have left the R5 Mark II in image simulator. So basically what I see on my back screen now is what is going to get taken on the photographs out there in front of me. Now on the 70-200 I have left that just with mechanical mode, taking off electronic, because mechanical, with it having a flash on the top, is what you need to be in. And again, I've taken off my image simulation as well off that camera, and I have turned also my speed down to single shot, just because if you are using the flashes, they're only going to go so much, so many flashes at a time, unless you've got them up to fast sync. But we'll see what happens with that. Again, we don't want to be wasting the batteries too much. We want them to hang out for the night so that we can get various of different kind of images with the creative lighting. So now it's just a case of sitting and waiting and listening for the tawny owl to come in. Now, it might hoot, it might not. I believe it comes from the back of the woods and comes and sits on the perches, and sometimes you just don't hear it whatsoever. I mean, I have been places before and you really do not see them whatsoever until you look up and they're sat there on the perch. And for the badgers and the foxes, we might hear them rustling through the foliage, which is all around this hide here. Now, as you can see from my second camera up here, yeah, it's a nice spacious hide. We've got plenty of insulation taking place on there, which is retaining the heat into the hide. Today temperatures have been about 21, 22, so it's been quite warm, and the first thing I did was message Dan and say, what is the hide like at night? Am I able to come in a pair of shorts? Am I, do I need to put long trousers on, etc. Just because if you came in long trousers and you came in your warm gear expecting it to be a cold night, at least when you're cold you can put stuff on, but when you're too hot you cannot take it off. So then it becomes a bit of a problem, doesn't it? It was advised to wear trousers, by the way, because the path down is getting a bit overgrown, and obviously there are nettles on there, so you don't want people turning up and getting nettled to death. So yeah, trousers is in a bit of an advisory. And again, especially leaving early hours in the morning and you're going to be walking through the grasses that take you back to where you park your car, you're just going to get bitten to death. Right, so I'm going to turn the light off, which I've got here, my head torch, which is just lighting us up at the moment. And yeah, let's just sit and wait, and fingers crossed we'll get some wildlife. Right, let's see how it goes. So it's just starting to go dark now out there, and the lights are just really starting to fill the area up with plenty of light to shoot in. And that's even before you start to introduce any flash into this area. So again, if you do come and you just want to photograph with the continuous lights, you can do. I mean, I'm just going to rough setting, as I might have already mentioned. I'm at 160th of a second. I'm at f2.8 to try and drag in as much light as possible. And I bumped my ISO up to 4,000th of a second, and that's just my starting point for the night. But I thought what I would do is, before I start talking about any of the flash stuff, because what we'll do is we'll talk about that as we go along and we start to introduce it, and then I can obviously show you pictures and footage as we go along as well. But what I thought I'd do is show you a little bit of what you can actually see outside. Now, from my camera here, just to my left hand side, which is here that I'm looking at you now, you can see that we've got these two nice long thin windows. So even though your cameras here are covered in this quite thick netting to try and stop wildlife actually seeing you through here, that you've got this slim bit of glass here at the top, which again is one-way glass, and it allows you just to see out over your cameras, and you can sit quite comfortably and see everything that you need to look at in the shooting area. Now I keep hearing the odd rustle. That generally just could be the dry leaves that we've got on some of the bushes down here on my left hand side. Now the wind has picked up, it has cooled down a little bit, so you never know. You know, we're just waiting now for anything to start coming in. We're just at 25 past 10, so it's still early. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick view out through the windows here, just to show you the shooting area. And I think then I'm going to turn you all off, turn my little light on that I've got here to the side off. I'm just going to sit and focus my eyes on the outside of the hide. So let's just give you a quick view out of here now. So I'll bring you up and turn you around. So this is the kind of view that you're getting. So as you can see, you've got your lights left and right, and you can see how much light they actually throw off. So that is just giving you an example of how much light there actually is. Right, I think it's time to turn the light off in here and then just sit in the dark and hopefully see what arrives first. So stick with me. Wow. I've got two fox clubs. And he's sat at the fence at the moment where the crisscross is. What an absolutely amazing sight. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me try and show you a picture. The back of the camera. Look at that. It's not the clearest, but wow. It's only 5 past 11, and already I've seen the Tawny owl and 2 fox cubs. Wow. Fingers crossed for some more action. Let's carry on watching. Now, I'm trying to keep my voice down as much as possible because badgers are really sensitive with their hearing. And if I make too much noise, it's just going to scab. So I've got the R5 Mark II set up on the 400, and I am, as you can see from here, I have a settings of 160 per second, f6.3, and my ISO is at 1250. And I've got that set up using 2 flashes which are lighting up the area. Now over here on this side, on the R5 with the 70-200 lens, I've currently got that just recording what's going on, which I'll show you that afterwards. But right now, this badger's not bothered too much whatsoever. And we're getting some absolutely stunning shots. Now, the fox has been back in, just one cub came back in. And I've got some footage of that, and I've also got some photographs as well. The Tawny owl's been in twice now. I managed to get some footage, I've managed to get some photographs of that as well. But I've not been able to have a go with the creative lighting. You just get too excited when you start seeing these birds coming in, don't you? Or anything really. So I'm hoping to try and monitor the Tawny owl a little bit more to try and get some of that creative shots. But we'll see how that goes. It's still early. It's about 10 to 1. And yeah, still plenty of time yet to play with that. Right, I'm going to continue monitoring this badger and taking some photographs. So enjoy. So the badger's left us now. It's gone back into all the undergrowth at the back of the area where we are. Now I have had the Tawny owl come back down, and it was on top of like the old fencing area. Grabbed a couple of pieces of meat that was out there for it, and it's flown off. Now I have set myself up with the 70-200 on the old gate post, and I'm hoping that it might come down there and try and get some frozen shots of its wings out, which would be really cool if I can get that. And then I've got the 400 as well onto the same stump but a lot closer in, again just to see if we can free some action. Now I've got one of them set up with the 2 front flashes, and I think it is, maybe second? No, sorry, scrap that. They're both set up with the rear flashes. So hopefully, when it comes in, we'll have a chance of hopefully trying to get some backlit images. Now I have been watching a routine of it coming in and out. it seems to fly in from the right hand side, and it seems to sit in a little bit of a V in the trees. And then from there it comes down to its perches. So it's just a case of sitting and waiting. I seem to get different spells of time, so it comes in and has a couple of pieces and then flies off. And then there's a big gap where there's nothing at all at the moment, and then it come in again and a couple more pieces of meat, and then it's flown back off again. So it is literally just a case of waiting and hoping that it comes back in. Now I have altered my settings slightly, not by much. I put my ISO up to 1600. I decided to go with an f7.1, maybe f8, just to try and get a little bit more depth of field, and obviously to help with freezing action with the flashes when it comes in with its wings open. It's getting that time of the night now where every little sound sounds massively loud. So yeah, as I was saying, I want to try and get as much depth as possible, especially when we're trying to focus at the moment on the stump. I want to make sure I've got a good depth of field that when it comes in, it's going to hopefully capture as much as possible in focus. So yeah, as I was saying about the noises, the back of the hide here where you come in, it sounded like someone had walked over 2 twigs. That made me sort of sit very, very quietly, and yeah, made me think twice about being out here on my own. But hey, we're doing alright still. It is cameraed, so it will be monitored by the guys. Now one of the lights have just flashed. So one of the things with the continuous lights is I turned it on about 9:30 onto the medium setting, which is sufficient enough for you to photograph in. And it works out that I could probably get to about 4 o'clock in the morning before they'll start to run out. Now one of them has just flashed on me, and we're just at 1:45. It might be just having a bit of a moment. It seems to have gone okay again. But yeah, we'll keep photographing it as long as we possibly can, and then go from there. Right, I'll go quiet for a bit, see if the Tawny comes back in. I've not seen much of the fox cubs for quite a length of time now either, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll get another visit from them before I leave. So we've had the 2 fox cubs come back in. Now, at the time, I was monitoring the tawny owl that was sat in the tree, and I had it set up both cameras on the perch that I've been waiting for it to come down on. And as it started just to come in to land on this perch I've been waiting for it to land on all night, it got spooked by the 2 fox cubs that came out of the undergrowth just to my left hand side. So the tawny owl went and sat up in the tree quite high up for quite a bit of time and then flew off. So I've been monitoring the 2 fox cubs again just here in front of the hide. One of them is pretty confident, to be honest. It's come out, it's moved around quite a lot of the area, but then a second one came in, obviously behind the first one. I've seen a little bit more on the darker on the legs, and a bit more of a darker bits to the tail as well. So they were quite distinctive to tell the two apart. And she kept coming out from the bramble area, and slightest noise, and she could be a she, was running straight back in. And then after a bit, the second one gained its confidence a little bit, started to come out and join the second one that was out in front of front of where all the lights were and everything. So that was lovely to see. Now, I did have myself set up on the 7200, and I did a bit of a recording just down in the back corner watching this second cub that came out. She was, like I say, being really she looks like a she, to be honest. She was quite jumpy. I left it recording for a bit, so I'll be able to show you some of that footage as well. And then I did a little bit of close-up footage and plenty of images over here on the 400mm, which has been pretty decent tonight, to be honest. I thought that the 400 might have been a bit of a struggle to work with, but to be honest, it's been pretty great. Even for the tawny owl coming down, it's just been a perfect sort of focal length to be working with, to be honest. Now, I am hoping that the tawny owl comes back down. What we on now? It's 3:10. I have said that basically from 4 o'clock onwards I'm going to start packing all my stuff down, because what I do need to do is go and bring all the flashes in and the lights as well from outside here in front of the hide, and just tidy up a little bit. But I am hoping that the tawny owl just makes that one last visit and comes down to the perch that I want it to come into. All I want to try and get is a picture of its wings coming in and out fully, landing on that perch. Whether it's a full flash picture, or it's one where, they've got the creative light from the back. But yeah, I'll try my best and see what I can do. Now, a couple of things that have been happening over the last hour or so while I've been sat here is, like I say, some rather large twigs, like someone heavy standing on them, which has just given me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. Now, it generally could be the cows, which are in the field just next door, and I haven't really heard much movement from them over the night. It could be them that are standing on stuff along this bramble edge just down the side of the hide. But it certainly makes you sort of sit up and think, who's out there, But yeah, I seem to be still here all right anyway. Right, let's give it a little bit more time, and let's see if we can get the tawny owls to come down and try and get some nicer shots than just perched on top of the fence area. It would be nice. So it's come to that time of the morning. It is now 5 to 4 and I sat around for quite a little bit of time now waiting for the Tawny owl to come back in to see if I could get that creative shot that I wanted on this stump over here, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be happening for me this time. So overall it's been an absolutely amazing evening tonight. We've had several visits from the fox cubs. We had the Tawny owl making a few visits excuse me, a few visits as well over the night, and then we also had the badger as well. So we've had a mixture of everything that you can see from the dark wood experience hide here at Yorkshire Wildlife Hides. The continuous lights I've hung out, this one has only just run out on me, so I'm calling it quits obviously now because I'm starting to lose it. We did say roughly 4 o'clock that they would probably go off. So what I want to do now is I'm going to collect up all the flashlights, get them all turned off and put them into the hide for Mike and Dan, who then will collect them and obviously have them charged up ready for the next person that will be turning out to just obviously come and experience this wonderful hide. But the one thing I have enjoyed, obviously staying here till this time in the morning, and you can probably hear it on my mic, is that absolutely fantastic dawn chorus that we're listening to. Every direction that you turn in while I'm stood here, there is a bird calling somewhere. Sometimes that's one of the most magical moments, is when you come out first thing in the morning, for sure. It's worth every moment just to come here and do a night here and then listen to this just before you leave and head on home, for sure. Right, so as I say, it's time for me to pack down, get everything sorted out for the guys, make sure everything's locked up in the hide, and then head on back home. So all I wanted to say is thank you to Mike and Dan for inviting me over to the hide this evening. It's been an absolutely fantastic experience. I hope that this video obviously shows everybody who's watching it exactly what you can kind of expect from here. And to be honest, I think it could be even better from some of the stuff that I've heard. So what I'll do is I will pop here below at the bottom of the screen and also in the description the website to the Yorkshire Wildlife Hides, where you can go and book your place, whether it's here at the dark wood, the woodland experience, whether it's the Charlie's hide where you can go and photograph kestrels, and any others that these guys are working on as well. No doubt there will be more hides coming in the future as well. Right, well guys, again thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please give it a good thumbs up if you have. Every time someone gives a thumbs up and obviously subscribes to my channel, it helps me massively to try and get out there to more like-minded people who enjoy wildlife and obviously enjoy watching anything like you've just seen today. If you haven't already, make sure you head over to my channel and check out some of my previous videos. You've got a 3-part series there where I was in Finland photographing brown bears, you know, and I've had all sorts, whether it's local hides, country parks, coming to the Yorkshire Wildlife Hides like here. I've had many different experiences over the last couple of years now. I've now been on YouTube and doing my videos. So make sure you head on over and go and check some of them out. And as always, if you want to show a little bit of appreciation, you can buy me a coffee, and my link is here below. And everyone that purchases a coffee, the money goes into a pot and it is used to come out on days like this, or I can buy myself a coffee or a cool drink in my case, or a hot chocolate because I don't do coffee, to obviously keep me going and bring more videos to you guys as well. So thank you very much for everybody that does buy me a coffee. I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Right, from the wonderful, fantastic, magical evening that I've had here at Yorkshire Wildlife Hides in the dark wood, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next adventure.